Hey guys, what's going on? I'm Ash Banish, and in this video I'm just going to be updating you on my Daith piercing. So if you didn't see my original video or you just forgot, I got my Daith pierced in September 2016, like a very long time ago. And it was done at a studio that wasn't very good. I did admittedly start working there at the start of my piercing career before I knew it wasn't very good. And I will probably make a video on that studio at some point because the things they were doing, like in terms of hygiene and morals and things like that, was just completely crazy. But like, anyway, back to the piercing. They pierced it with a pretty long curved barbell, and this curved barbell's length and I guess shape, because it was a curved barbell, meant that it moved around a lot, like it twisted a lot, it went up and down and all of that kind of stuff. And it was really annoying. And this eventually caused me to develop irritation bumps, which meant I couldn't even put in a smaller bar to reduce the movement or anything like that. So what I eventually did is I changed my piercing to a ring in like December, so I think like 3 months after I got the piercing. And while the ring did take me a while to get it in because I can't see that part of my ear, I immediately felt more comfortable with it in. Like, I felt like it put so much less pressure on my piercing and the bumps, and it moved less, and when it moved it kind of felt like a steadier movement. While rings generally aren't recommended for initial jewellery because they can spin and like drag dirt through the piercing hole and things like that, for a Daith I find that they are a lot more sturdier, like because curved barbells twist so much and that can irritate your piercing. I find that a ring, for me at least, is a lot more comfortable. And yeah, because I felt like it was more comfortable, I kept it in because I didn't really find it was sort of spinning around. It was kind of twisting a little bit like the barbell was, like going back and forth in my ear, but it wasn't like spinning like this, like, or anything even remotely like that. And I also found it like easier to clean because I could like get in there, whereas before I found the balls were blocking like where I needed to clean. And I also found it looked nicer, so that was just like a bonus on top. But during this time, I was working sort of like 2 hours away in a studio, and basically I found it really hard to make this journey without headphones because I didn't really think about the fact that I couldn't wear headphones when I got my Daith pierced. It wasn't something that crossed my mind, and trying to get my Apple headphones in there was not an option. Like, I think I irritated the piercing trying, and eventually it just wouldn't stay in anyway. Obviously I shouldn't have done this, like I shouldn't have worn headphones and blah blah blah, like it was clearly already irritated. I shouldn't have irritated more, but you know, I was just, you know, being stupid and not really thinking about it. It did get a little bit more irritated, but nothing major, and I eventually found headphones that work well with Daith piercings, which I did make a video on. And when I wore those, I didn't feel like there was any added irritation. I didn't really feel it really touch my bump or anything. It just felt quite comfortable, and I still use those earphones to this day. So I found them really good, and I will link the video on screen and in the description if you're also struggling to wear earphones with your Daith piercing. Up until this point, I tried soaking my bumps, I tried leaving them alone, and I just found like nothing was working. So what I did is I tried out no-pull piercing discs, so I found them on Instagram. While they didn't get rid of my bumps, I did find that they did help reduce them. And I have like used them on clients. Like, I've had customers buy these discs off me and ask me to put them on their Daith, and they've come back a few weeks later and their Daith bump is gone. But for me, they didn't want to completely budge. Like, I wore these discs for months and they were still there. So eventually I took the discs off and I went back to leaving my piercing the fuck alone. After a few months of that, I then tried putting a bar back in. That didn't really seem to make it any better. It just kind of irritated it more. So I then put my ring back in and left it the hell alone again. And I waited and waited, and I just kind of forgot about the piercing because I was just so like over it. I was so like, I don't want to deal with this anymore. And I felt like it didn't really matter what I did. Like, I can clean it with saline, I can soak it, I can do hot compresses, I can just leave it the fuck alone, but nothing I do would get rid of the bumps. I think it was like around August that I noticed that my bumps had just randomly gone down. And seeing this, I was like, oh yay, like maybe we're making some progress. But then they didn't really go down anymore. I invested in a better quality ring for my ear because I know that my piercings are quite sensitive to metals when they're healing. And I just left it alone for another couple months. and they did go down a bit more, but they have not completely gone. I'm not sure if they will ever completely go, but they are at a point where they're not so noticeable, and that is kind of like okay with me. Like, I wouldn't say it's healed, but it's on its way to healing, and that's why I've only just filmed this update, because I didn't really feel like there was much I could say when I had the bumps. Like, it was just like, oh, I've got bumps. And as I said in my last video, I don't want to put out a video with just a problem. I would rather have the resolution with it. And I think the higher quality jewellery is what pushed it over the edge. And I am now in the process of trying to switch everything I wear to higher quality. Like, even my heeled piercings that are completely fine with like complete shit in it, I want to put higher quality jewellery in everything I have. But anyway, so my Daith piercing is kind of, you know, on its last lap of healing, I would say. And I just basically wanted to update you on why I hadn't updated you, because I always say when I get a piercing, oh, I'll do an update video, blah blah blah, and then I realised I never did one for this piercing. Basically, this is why. It does still get a little irritated and flares up from time to time. Like, if I sleep on my ear and the ring falls forward, it kind of puts pressure on the piercing, and then it will kind of be swollen for a couple of days. But no matter how irritated it gets, it hasn't regressed back to where it was at any point. So I really do hope that within another few months, it's going to be completely healed, and I just won't even have to think about this piercing anymore. But this was just a quick video to let you know that I do still have the piercing. It is on its way to healing, but it's not there yet, and I just felt like I should put out an update. But, you know, I feel like it's dragged on a lot because I've been filming a lot today. So I'm going to leave it there. So thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Just so you know, I've got loads of new stock over on wholeheartedlondon.com. This new high quality range not only looks stunning, but it's highly polished, internally threaded, implant grade titanium, so it's great for your piercings too.